Thousands of years ago, the Polynesians built the first catamarans. Then in 1876, an American redesigned one for racing. It was so fast that it was deemed unfair competition and banned from organized racing. But eventually, racing catamarans made a comeback in the late 20th century. With 2 hulls instead of 1, catamarans skim the water faster than traditional sailboats. While a single-hull boat relies on a heavy keel, a catamaran uses its width as leverage to harness the power of the wind. A racing catamaran starts with foam material for the hull's lightweight core. A worker clamps the foam to a fiberglass form. Then he places it into an oven and closes the door. The oven gradually brings the core temperature up to 160 degrees Fahrenheit. After a few minutes, he takes the foam out of the oven and places an upper form over it. The softened and malleable foam bends to the form's contours. After applying a gel coat and fiberglass fabric in a hull mold, he lays in the shaped foam pieces. He fills any gaps in the core with slivers of foam material. He adds little squares of porous plastic to reinforce areas where hardware will be attached later. The worker drapes fiberglass fabric loosely over the core. He sprays a small amount of rubber cement onto the core and presses the fabric into it. The cement helps the fabric stick to the core. Then he stretches nylon fabric over the fiberglass and foam. He runs spiral cut tubing along the sides of the mold. He cuts it to the right length and tapes it down. After laying down a plastic mesh, 2 workers cover the mold and its contents in plastic. They secure the edges of the mold with tacky tape, creating a tight seal. The team connects a vacuum to the spiral tubing on one side of the mold. When they turn it on, the vacuum sucks out the air, pulling the layers tightly together. They prepare a vinyl-based resin and apply it using the vacuum tube. The vacuum pumps the resin through the layers of fiberglass and foam. The resin takes a couple of hours to dry. The team removes the plastic, mesh, and nylon layers, revealing 1/2 of a catamaran hull. Next, they install the bulkheads. They use special tools to accurately position them in the hull. They also place bulkheads in the second half of the hull. The workers join the 2 hulls while they're still in the molds and seal the seam with epoxy. They remove the hull from the molds and cut an opening for the trunk. It holds a retractable centerboard for curbing sideways movement. They attach the screws used to lace the trampoline platform. A worker applies glue-backed strips of plastic to protect the fiberglass from chafing. He screws sailing hardware to both hulls. The hulls are placed in an alignment jig. Then, the team installs crossbars that fit into molded recesses. They attach a rudder system to each hull and test them to verify they operate correctly. The trampoline platform is made of polypropylene. The front slides into a molded groove. They lace up the back and sides with double-braided synthetic rope. He pulls the laces tight to keep the platform rigid. Once the other sailing control lines are in place, they're ready to hoist the sail on this racing catamaran. From start to finish, it takes 3 weeks to produce a racing catamaran. In competition, these boats have been clocked at 3 times the speed of wind.